Hey, GM everyone. Wednesday night, I'm here with Index as always. We got a great show. We got a lot of new stuff going on chain. We got some big spends. We got some treasury rebalancing, some Steve. We got verbs, nouns to verbs. We got all that coming up right now, just after this. Index, GM.
GM, welcome back. Yeah, I don't know. That's all I had. I thought I was going to come out with some great introduction, but a GM, I guess, is all I have.
GM is all you need in nouns. Hey, we got to start. You and I were prepping the show, and we did talk about how this sort of existential crisis Lil Nouns was in last week when we left the show. Were we going to fork or not? Turns out all those props were defeated. 156, 155, 154, 153, 152, 151. So fork didn't happen. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I guess there's a few factors and reasons why it didn't happen, but for now it does appear that Lil Nouns will not be forking, or at least starting an escrow. I mean, if it's going to happen, it should happen soon. So it looks like it's off the table, which means it's probably off the table for quite some time. Maybe if an escrow starts, a prop would appear to try and join it, and we'd be kind of hoping that we make it again. Odds are low, I think, but the math just doesn't really work in our favor. So for now, the only way we do fork is if someone starts an escrow and hits the threshold in like 5 days or so, within 5 days, which doesn't appear to be happening.
No, so let's hop over to Lil Nouns, just check in. This is live here, October 18th. Lil Nouns has 200, a little over 208 ETH. I guess 42 Lil Noun tokens, I assume. Or no, maybe that's a scam. Yeah. Anyway, 208 ETH and 16 nouns, including some great ones. Some of our personal favorites. Let's see what we got here. Stapler, 535. One of my personal favorites.
I think you're in a new window, but if you're a fan of Lil Nouns, you know the Stapler, you know the Maze. You of course know. Yeah, there it is. Our ship, which used to be a different ship, but wasn't really the right ship. Can you believe at one point we boarded the wrong ship?
Yeah,
it's kind of incredible, but yeah, holding on to them for now. Still, I mean, at the end of the day, Little's still struggling to figure out how to put them to the best use. Even the meta governance component has gotten less and less attention. That's kind of one of the big topics in Lil Nouns, is that Nouns DAO props are being voted on by a very small percentage of Lil Nouns tokens, and should a kind of like a threshold or quorum be implemented there. Sort of one of the big hot topics.
For sure. Shout out Noun 677, purchased by Lil Nouns via an on-chain proposal back in April. This is, of course, our show's mascot. Yeah. So Lil Nouns, what's next? I mean, what do you think happens next on chain? Do you think we're going to get some more? Looks like we got SQ for a retro prop. Where do you think Lil Nouns go from here?
That's a very good question. I think the big initiative right now in Littles, or the big hope, is this Little Beans that passed. And so I think depending on the success of Little Beans, maybe we'll see more props like that, really like 3 to 5 ETH asks to kind of launch some sort of initiative to bring a lot of attention back to Littles is the hope, or something. I don't know. It's hard, but I think we'll just see a bunch of these like sub 5 ETH props every once in a while. And the closer we get to 0 ETH in the treasury, the tougher those props will be to pass.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest, I guess we all don't really truly know. And that's why we're playing it.
There you go. This is a live stream adventure.
Yeah, we have no idea. I mean, I could, the treasury has gone down slowly but surely, and it probably will continue to do the same. I don't know if I have more insight than that, but we'll find out.
Well, it's a great segue, though, just to talk about what we are, who we are. We have this sort of disclaimer slide here. This is a live stream adventure. It's not financial advice. It's not legal advice. And in fact, this stream is in fact sponsored by Lil Nouns DAO. Shout out Lil Nouns. Way back at Prop 116, which feels like really feels like a different epoch in history.
Yeah, it's kind of like a completely different time. In Littles, in Nouns, so much has changed since that prop passed and we started our journey. In some ways, might be easy for us to conclude our journey, maybe harder, just different. Yeah, a lot has changed, as you like to say, block to block. But man, we're operating in like a completely different set of rules and world right now. There you go. I guess I could change my avatar too here. Let's see. Can I do edit avatar? There we go. I'll rip the curling stone for now, but yeah, you're pulling up here now at 809, which I received into my wallet last night, as part of Prop 401, the payment. So I own 2 Nouns now. One was kind of stressful enough, but 2, I'm not really sure what to do with both. I want to try and find a really fun or interesting use case for this, if there is one right now in this market. But yeah, either way, it's really cool to receive the Noun with the broken heart and the curling stone head.
Yeah, looking at this site now, it feels quite imposing. I don't know. It's a beautiful noun. Obviously, this was related to prop. What number was this one? 401.
Yeah, Prop 401. Award Nouns to 2023 Anniversary Art Upgrades Artist from Noun 40. So huge thank you to Noun 40 for taking the lead on this proposal. And yeah, essentially it gave the 6 of us each 1 noun that we had a hand in creating, whether it be entirely or partially, because some of the nouns were a little bit of a group effort to kind of refine and rework. But yeah, it was like, I guess sort of a nounish dream come true, as in like last year's Nouniversary would have been really amazing to be awarded with the index card. I kind of made it come true for myself with a lot of ETH. But yeah, I don't know if like that helped this prop come to life. But I like to think in some way my journey as the index card helped kind of create this path that it could be good for like an artist to own their own head, and kind of an exciting element of the story.
There's so many directions I could go here, but what really strikes me right now is how does it feel to now be? I mean, you're past Prop 401, great great number by the way, but you're up here with really nounish icons. I mean, Faku, Amiyoko, Goldie. I mean, of course, you've been associated with them in the past with past Noundry seasons. But how does it feel to see your name up here?
Man, it's kind of weird. I don't. I mean, it feels great, and it's like it's amazing that I was included and like an honor. But in some ways, like I don't know if I deserve to be there or something. I get that kind of feeling. But either way, it's really cool, and I'm happy to receive this noun and maybe start playing the game of nouns with the curling stone in whichever way I can kind of figure out. But yeah, Amiyoko, one of the most prolific like nounish trait artists. So I think as far as all these 6, I'm most excited for Amiyoko to get ahead in the collection and receive that noun. So I think I'm more excited for some of the others than myself.
What is, I mean, if we wanted to create a group of people who have sort of earned a noun head by contribution to the project, what would we call that? Like, what would be a good shorthand way to talk about that? And then do you think we could name all of them? I mean, how many have been earned? It's a pretty select group.
Yeah, not many have been given out. Salvino has one. Nekvis has one. There are a few others earmarked for community members. I guess Dustin Yellen, I think, did he finally get his noun? The Yo noun. So I think that's 3 that have actually received a noun prior to this. And then there's a couple more that are pending receipt of the noun. And then all 6 of us in kind of one fell swoop got a noun. So it was a very select group. And then we saw Bob Burnquist get a noun kind of right after that through a different prop. But I don't know if I have a good name for like that contingent. It would be cool to come up with a name. Maybe we need someone like Gami to kind of name that initiative or collective. He's always got something. Yeah,
I want to sort of piece them out here. Maybe throw in Figma, get them into like a chat room together, see what sticks. Do you know numbers on these? Like for example, Bob's.
Well, I guess we can go to the props themselves. Like our prop has them all in it by number. Bob was 542. The second, or not the second skateboard, but one of the skateboard heads. I guess you could also go by like nouns acquisition.
Hold on, give me Bob's. Got Bob's again.
542.
542. Okay. See if this works.
Salvino is now 311.
All right. Oops. You're 809.
Yeah, and then Dustin Yellen is now 252.
Hang on a sec. $252. Oh, nice. You know,
we mess with your work here. I'll let you cook.
Oh no, I'm just collecting them. You go ahead. You know, the abstract noun, I'll say, is not talked about enough. In fact, I've spent almost no time talking about
it. I guess it's cool. I guess it depends on the accessory. It maybe not be my favorite. I did a cast not too long ago, kind of about my unsung or underappreciated noun heads, and I think I did mirror, lipstick, and washing machine. And those are the ones I'm kind of feeling right now. But yeah, I'm just kind of gonna keep dropping them in if that's okay.
Yeah, you go for that, and I'm gonna find Nexus's prop and find you the number for Jello. Joe Love.
It should be 9. I think it's 9 in total, right? Or maybe is it more? Oh, Necfus makes it 10. Yeah. I can find the number pretty quickly. I used to know it. $687. All right, I dropped them in. Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I'm trying to think of cool names. Let's see. Player earn now. Okay. Nounish nominees. BSOD myself. Been hanging out in Little's Discord.
Say that again. Sorry.
We have a viewer commented, how about Nounish nominees? And so I just pinned that to our screen. BSOD
Nice.
myself. They've been hanging out kind of in the little Discord for a little bit, putting up
Shout
some
out.
prop house props, and I think entered to try and become a gardener. So thank you for tuning in, commenting.
Shout out BSOD. I'm a huge fan of the BSOD myself.
Yeah, that's one of favorite nouns of the show, I think.
Oh. That might be a good segue. Actually, we can stew on this. You want to talk about the Gardner round? I know it's it came up. I have not been following it super closely, but let's talk about the Gardner stuff.
Yeah, it's around in nouns, and you can even see the next garden round already up there that you're looking at. Starts in 4 days, so you can kind of get a preview of it. But the talk of the DAO right now, aside from all the other stuff, is Gardner. This Gardner selection round. 73 people put their name in the hat to become a gardener. Top 24 get it. Nouns holders do vote, so one noun is still 10 votes in this round, and then I guess for now that's one of the last times that noun holders will have a vote in this prop house. And that means Little's has 160 votes available to use, to be determined how it's deployed. But right now, not too much action, just a few people going in, sprinkling around votes to their favorites.
Amazing. Amazing set of names here. My goodness. And there's 24.
It's kind of a stacked field. It's not an easy decision to but I guess collectively it kind of will settle itself out and even itself up. But yeah, there's a lot of names in this kind of feed here that could be well deserving of this position.
Holy cow, man. Shout out, friend of the show, Bixbite. Hero Chef. I mean, geez, we've had so many of these on our show. Shout out Will Papper, Sasquatch, Onion, man, Krell, Index, Noun 40, Martin, Wiz, Seneca. Seneca for Gardner, man. this is a stacked round. I agree.
Yeah, it kind of is. I think I'm in like 8th or 10th. I don't know what I'm in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th, 8th, maybe. But I don't know if I expect to get it, but it'd be cool if I get it. I would like to see some other people with an opportunity to kind of like govern in this way. So I only deployed 1 vote so far for Cardno, Lil Nouner, and I'm gonna see how I use my others. Probably closer to the end. I like to get all the information before I vote.
Drew Kaufman, Nexus, JP, Toady, Oni, T-Mobile, friend of the show was on last week. Lil Dot. Shout out Lil Dot. I guess you could call Lil Dot friend of the show. Put us over the top.
He appeared last week for about a minute, so he's officially been on the show. And so officially on the show, friend of the show, same thing. But yeah, Gardner, it's going to be interesting. I'm really excited actually to see what proposals come in that first round and how it plays out. I think it could lead to some like much needed fresh excitement in the DAO, and I think it could be even more competitive than this will be like that first round for that 5 ETH.
Yeah. So this is kind of like a rebranding of the OG Nouns prop house rounds.
Yeah, it's pretty much a fresh take on the mechanics and a rebrand. I think it was kind of much needed. The other ones were starting to get a little bit stale and played out. And I think on the internet, you got to move faster and just kind of always try something different and new. And I hope this is it. And if it's not, then 3 months we can, as a DAO, decide to go somewhere else with it. But we've got Zargs on the stage, kind of popping in here on our live stream. Welcome.
GM Zargs. Feel free if you want to unmute.
Morning, I'm trying to.
Or no.
Still trying to get it all logged in happily with ways to connect to YouTube and everything. This is awesome, though. I love it.
Yeah, thanks for joining, Zargs. Anything in particular you're interested in talking about? Did you put in a prop house submission to be a gardener?
I did not apply to be a gardener, so I'm still kind of thinking it all through. I think it's a nice idea, but I think it still doesn't solve the fundamental problem that the voters are not in our communities, and they're just not familiar with how much everybody does here and there. So I'm kind of fundamentally sad about everything. I think there was a prop in Nouns, I think it was 63 or so, I'll look it up now, where the whole ecosystem distributed a bunch of ETH through a round to the whole ecosystem. And I think that's where I think we need to go. Being a bummer. I'm sorry. You guys rock.
No, it's okay. This is a real story we're telling here, and like you never know what's going to happen. And now, so like all takes are welcomed here. I see where you're coming from. I wasn't around. I mean, I was around Nouns, but I wasn't really an active participant during Prop 63. I do remember like coming across it and thinking, wow, this is kind of exciting. Maybe that could be me one day, to get some like award or reward from Nouns. So yeah, I don't know how the garden will shake out. I'm excited that at least it's an attempt in like a different direction, even though maybe it's not as different or as interesting or kind of like the ideal solution as some may hope. I think it's at least a little bit better. But we'll see still.
Yeah, it does have
Like,
more. Yeah, and it has more everyday people, I think. I'm not sure that's the greatest term to use, but yeah, I think it's much closer to where we need to be, for sure.
Yeah, I only deployed one vote so far for Cardno. I think he's like an example. I mean, maybe I feel like I kind of know some examples you're thinking of, but for me, he's kind of an example of someone that hasn't really had a nouns vote, but is very active in the DAO and kind of spread out through a few different communities. Giving him a voice, I think I'd be really excited about.
Hello.
GM Mike, GM, just looking over your prop here for gardenership.
Glad to see it in there.
Yeah, thanks. I'm laughing at Borg's comment for Fantastic Planet. Hopefully more successful than the Frenzy's Garden. Yeah, hopefully, Borg. Jeez.
So Zarg's like, out of the 70-ish proposers here, is there anyone that you would like to like shout out, or you would really like to see be one of the 24?
Well, I definitely, all the little nouns that are there, I think I would go. Sorry, hang on. I probably would go for Joshua Fisher. My computer's a little overloaded right now, so I'm not getting a list in front of me.
All right, that's all good.
I apologize. I was planning on just lurking.
You can go back to lurking, Zargs, no worries. Mike, what are your thoughts on the garden round? How's campaigning going?
Lots of good submissions. I'm not campaigning really. I mean, where there's a little debate going on in Lil Nouns right now over like whether we should vote, who should vote, if it's like Lil Reps is just reenacted. I'm like hoping that we could maybe kick off the Lil Nounsel thing with this like first vote. I don't know, but maybe we could make this the topic tomorrow night at our call, the Lil Nouns weekly Thursday call. I was gonna tell SQX to put it on the agenda. So yeah, I mean, not really campaigning yet. It's early. People just put up votes, I think, to like signal, you know. But I mean, everybody's practically signaled by now, except for like a handful of people, which I think definitely some people down there with 0 votes at the bottom. Like if you want to scroll to the very bottom, like I think definitely a few of those people deserve a shot. So, you know, we'll see how it plays out.
Did you see our friend of the show, Tagawa? Yes.
Tagawa. You know, I had been tagged in a bunch of Twitter stuff recently. Dude, shout out Tagawa.
I'm thinking about throwing a vote down. There's a few different of the Japanese community members. I think I would like to get a vote, and I'm not sure if they're gonna get the attention maybe they deserve. But there's P nouns DAO and that have nouns, so we'll see. Friend of the show SQ up there.
Okay,
Yeah.
Friend of the show, ultimate friend of the show, man. This guy definitely needs a vote.
Yeah.
Index, you should really signal boost SQ here. Honestly, I mean, of all the people I know, SQ is uniquely qualified to guard.
Yeah, I'm conflicted over early signaling and then regretting at the end that maybe like SQ is 1 vote shy and I don't have that vote ready. Something like that. I don't really know what the approach is. I know waiting to the end also maybe is not Gardner-ish.
So you're saying slam SQX with 19 votes right now on stream?
No, I don't know. I'm gonna wait. I guess there's something towards like signaling people, but I'd rather maybe be able to move someone up that's kind of on the border at the end. I definitely won't vote for myself or some of the more popular people because I think they'll already kind of get the attention. I did signal Carno just because, you know, a little closer. experience with Carno than some of the others, but
Yeah,
and
it
he
should be interesting to see. Not a lot of votes casted, right? Like out of the number of voters casting votes, I think it's a very small percentage of votes cast so far. Some large voters have not cast any yet. Like I didn't see 40 drop any votes yet, and I'm sure he's like considering this like very heavily. So, yeah, interesting to see. Also, we just what do you guys think we do in Lil Nouns with the 16 noun votes? Like that's what 160 votes we have. Like kind of a lot there. I was saying earlier in the chat, we had like a very long chat about it. I'm not sure if you caught up or not on that, Lil Panda and Zargs and whoever else is listening, but it was just like kind of back and forth on how we should treat those votes. What do you guys think?
yeah, so like the most recent nouns prop had 86 votes on it. So that's potentially like 860 votes that I'd say could potentially be likely to be deployed here. So we're not really even anywhere near there. As far as little nouns goes, I don't know. I was never really that into like stuffing the votes towards a little, even though I kind of get it. To push a little to the top is kind of the whole point. I don't know. I'm not sure how to approach that one. That's a very tough subject, which can probably be seen by all the discussion earlier. If it wasn't a tough topic, we wouldn't have had like a couple hundred Discord messages about it, I guess.
What are the prevailing views, and how do you guys think it'll shape up?
I guess it's maybe split equally to all the little nouners that are active and have put in. The other is to stuff them all in one person. That's not really like a common view. Another is to just do an emoji vote in the Discord, maybe a snapshot vote.
Here's the issue with like just voting for only Lils also. It's like I don't think, they want to elect a body that's only going to vote for themselves. Like I think like if we are going to vote, we need to consider everybody and not just like split the vote across like Lil Nouners or whatever, because like as a actual participant in it, like what we can't vote like that. Like if a Lil Nouner comes up into a garden, prop house round, like we shouldn't just like blanket swing our garden votes towards them. That would be, or we can as a DAO, right? Like we can choose to do that, but then like the OG DAO is going to look at us in a strange way, I think. So it's probably a very bad look if we continue to kind of operate like that, like Lils or nothing.
40 really pandering to our show here with the infinite game and infinite players motif.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
But as far as Lils goes, yeah, like I was saying in the Discord, this is actually the one round where it's more ethical to throw all your votes onto one person, because those then get diluted down to 1/24th. But yeah, if you spread them out, then I guess you can potentially have like 8 littles, 6 littles, maybe. I don't know if you can get to half, but at the end of the day, a lot of these people own littles anyway, even if they're not active. I don't know if that counts for something, but Zargs gave a little shout out here to some of our favorites: Hero Crypto Mono, Chris Corella, friend of the show. Got a lot of friends of the show. Super Yo of Nouns Movie, Nekfis, who's been on before. Rafa, who's kind of like a newer player into Nouns, has a
He's brilliant. Love him. Very smart, that one. And C. Corella too. He isn't in the trenches much, but his ideas really take everyone into consideration more than most, I think.
And he also was involved in Lils, but recently Rage sold his Lils.
Oh no, I didn't know that. Jeez.
But yeah, Chris, a huge friend of the show. He's been on the show. Well, he's probably the second most airtime besides Index. He's been on many times. Love Chris.
Maybe Mike has second most, but we'll give Chris third most.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Or my good always getting forgotten, but that's
I mean, I'm just like guy on the couch, you know? Like, don't mind me. I'm just back here hanging out, typically.
But yeah, that's kind of Gardner. So like, I guess next week we'll have an idea, and the round will be kicked off. That was a hard push towards hard push segue. I just came in like a wrecking ball there. Sorry.
No, I like it because 4 days it ends. We'll know the results. You might be a gardener. Mike might be a gardener. We got a new prop house round. It's sort of like a hard reset. It's almost like I'm just kind of in the SNES mode. But you remember how you used to sometimes blow on the cartridges? I don't know if I'm dating myself here. And then kind of pop it back in. It feels like that's the moment we're at right now with prop house.
I tried to make that GIF the other day by putting some noggles on the cartridge blow, and it just like didn't work out perfectly. I should add that to the GIF chat for Liam to do in Lil Nouns.
Awesome. Well, let's segue Index. Let's check out the chain here. We got a lot that's happened in the last week. Obviously, 401 passed, 402. Bob Burnquist got his noun. We talked about that a bit. What else is noteworthy here, Index? Protocol Guild. This was funded.
Yeah, that one just passed a little bit before we went live and queued up. Mostly more support than I thought. I guess I voted that I was initially hesitant, but Noun 40's reason kind of inspired me to be a little more confident in the result of this prop, or at least give it a shot. It is kind of an expensive prop, but yeah, I don't know. Like, I think the sentiment was that the work will be kind of amazing and great, and of course the highest quality. But is it the best use of Noun's funds? Which I guess is the point of every prop. Is it the best use of Noun's funds? So I don't know what the hell I'm going there with that. But yeah, passed. I'm excited to see what happens. I wrote in my reason too that I think I'm in too much of a Nouns bubble. At the end of the day, I really only care about Nouns, but if this ends up being a net good for Nouns, then I'm in. I don't know if that's not a sophisticated viewpoint, but yeah.
Yutong has been on the show. I know he's a veteran. He's been on Chain many, many times. Just kind of skimming through this. It's pretty well done with the visuals, with the clear writing. Congrats to Yutong for getting this passed. Moving right along.
I will say though, like I've mentioned this before, but I'm really excited when we have a prop and we don't have to discuss whether or not it will even be executed or delivered. And I think that prop falls into it. Like, we know we're gonna get what we're proposed, and it feels really good to like not have to worry about that when reading a prop. But yeah, right.
We've talked about that in the past. Did we name that, or we tried to name that once? That quality of certain props.
Yeah, I brought it up once. I don't remember where we landed, but yeah, it's just nice to just read a prop and know you're probably going to get what's being proposed, and then you can actually just think about whether it's like what you're looking for from the DAO. For the DAO. But,
yeah. Yep. Well, let's jump over to 409 real quick. Nouns to verbs. This is a prop that is currently up on chain, active for I believe 2 more days. This is a prop to give 2 nouns and 16 ETH to the verbs team. And it's sort of kind of, in my view, sort of surprisingly kind of come under fire, but it's currently losing 24-4-38 against. Yeah, Index, what do you think? Have you voted on this one yet?
I have not voted, and I wasn't really sure where we were going to go with the show, so I was considering maybe voting live on the show, but now that we have a little bit of an audience and we're kind of just riffing here, I'll probably save it for after. I am a 4. I just received the noun. I didn't get any tax payment, but I'm okay with that. I do think the verbs should have nouns. They deserve nouns. I know it's some mixed views about, if they want one, they can buy it or they can kind of ask for it as part of their next prop. But if this is what it takes to get the nouns, to get the verbs some nouns, then I think I'm for it. I just am really bad at writing a reason, so I have to think about it a little bit more, how to phrase it. But yeah, we almost put this prop up ourselves, I guess, if I'm allowed to say. Or we wanted to put up a prop like this.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of the verbs. I think I tweeted about this or casted about this. But yeah, I just think, setting aside everything else, I mean, nouns is stronger if David and Elad are voting with a noun or delegating their noun. I just think their value to the project is just massive, and they should have a noun. So I'm a yes.
Yeah, and then I guess my other point is just from like a purely functional perspective, they should be able to put up a proposal, at any point during their tenure. And of course, candidates is kind of a thing, but I still think they should easily have access to proposing. And if they're not going to buy one, then I'm okay with awarding them one. Semi-controversial, but not really controversial. I think everyone would agree that they deserve some nouns. The tax payment is kind of the controversial part, but I'm all good with it. Wizardo is all good for it, and if Wizardo thinks so, then I'll trust Wizardo, our friendly Anon.
Shout out, I just noticed Lil Nouns voting now on chain with reason. Are these reasons that were put up on the snapshot? I assume that's the case, and that's awesome. I don't know, Mike, do you know?
Yep. Snapshot comments are getting carried over now by Dot. Or whoever's voting, rather. Not just Dot, but League of Littles.
Yeah, I mean, another value prop for Lils. Own one Lil and get your vote with reason on chain.
With weight. Yep.
Big weight. 16.
Yeah, I should start throwing my vote with reason in on the snapshots, I guess. But it would just be like duplicate. But I guess on this prop, I abstained.
I actually have like a small prop idea related to like vote weight. I got a second noun, and I was thinking of dedicating this noun to it, but maybe I might request a noun, but a noun that you can delegate to people who have participated in the DAO through zero weight votes. I don't know how that would really be executed. Maybe a prop house round where if you voted with 0 weight in the past or recent past, you can submit, and then you can maybe act as a real delegate for a month. I don't know what the thoughts are on that, but just trying to think of fun ideas to activate voters and get people involved.
I love that.
Yeah. You've been talking about something like that for a while. That's sort of a evolution of that idea about the Twitter vote, right?
Yeah, it's kind of adjacent to it. Obviously, I could have already done it with like my own noun, but sometimes people ask me to like delegate or sponsor, so I always would have had to pull it back. But now that I have 2, maybe I can use my other one, or request one from the treasury. Maybe they can send it to a contract that the DAO controls, or the DAO can pull the noun from anyway, or at any point in time. But there's a noun I actually have in mind for it, 747. So I'm shilling my idea here live on stream. Who let the dogs out there? Ooh. Yeah, there it is.
Vote with weight, huh?
With weight, right? The noun with weight. Come on.
Oh, I like it. And this was
kind
a
of
forked
perfect.
noun?
It sells the idea. Yeah, it was forked. So, man.
That does sell the idea. Nice.
I was going to say, like,
7. What an iconic number, too.
Yeah, it's a sick noun. I was gonna say, like, what if there was a way for you to automatically cast votes, based on anyone that submitted zero weight votes, and it just took like the average or whatever way it was leaning with zero weight, and casted your vote based on those.
Okay, that's like an interesting idea.
So you could do
I'd have to run some like scenarios to see how that plays out currently.
Mhm.
I think it would have to be if you give a reason to, maybe.
Yeah, right. Like vote with reason, and then you consider those. If like 3 of them are leaning yes and 2 are no, you vote.
And then
yes.
that can even be automated too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is interesting. We still need the noun, but I guess I could try it with my noun. Also, in like curling, there's a the term weight is commonly used in curling to like determine how much oomph you put on like the stone when you take your shot or whatever the hell you call it. But yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I just put up some curling stone gifs here. Have you done any kind of GIF art with your new noun yet, Index?
Nah, not really, but it is a gold mine for like kind of silly memes, I think.
You should take some curling lessons.
I mean, maybe we can do like a DAO sponsored curling event or something. Or I've also thought about maybe like what like a nounish curling game in the browser would be like. But I don't know if that would get any attention. I like the zero vote weight thing. Or maybe we could sponsor a curling team.
Yeah, like that field hockey team, Builder DAO sponsored.
I didn't know that. It's kind of great, I guess, and random, but that's nounish.
Or
was
no,
it the lawn bowling thing?
Yeah, lawn bowling. Sorry.
Yeah. Shout out to lawn bowling. But all right, we can go back to the chain. I think Panda wanted to do toilets, bidets.
I'm actually really liking this curling GIF here. Do you see this yellow stone that comes and like knocks everything out of the way? I feel like this should be 809. That just comes and just causes chaos.
Maybe we can get Liam to make this, even though it's not little. Or I could just
Like,
make
what
it
do you
little,
think?
right?
Mike can do it too. Mike's got GIF skills.
Yeah.
Not that good.
Borg, where's our resident designer? Borg, pipe, disco pipe,
Fantastic Planet, where are you?
whatever else name. This is me working on a project. Live look.
Steady and slow.
Slow and steady. It
You
may
know,
never
GIF
make it.
a GIF that has the rotation here would be sick. You see how he's got that gentle rotation as he lets go?
If I had the talent, man, it would be. I would make some, but we'll see. Maybe we can get one.
All right. Back to the chain though. Yeah, a couple more. I highlighted 410 here. What but so what? Just because I knew this was my guy Triggity, longtime Lil Nouner. Sponsored by Toady. Interesting. So this didn't go up with Metagov Lil Nouns, but this is passing so far, 27 to 16. Ooh, threshold 49. So this is in need of some more votes.
Yeah, I mean, you got to remember though that the proposal timeline kind of got crunched, and so more votes are coming in towards the end when maybe they wouldn't have in the past. So I think this will at least have the chance to hit threshold. It won't fail due to lack of threshold. Maybe it fails for or against, but I don't think it fails on a threshold type thing. But I've yet to vote on this one. But yeah, it didn't come through littles due to all the fork props, and it was kind of, I guess at the time, a little risky. If a fork prop went through, then anyone can cancel it. and just kind of cause a little drama. So Toady came in, scooped it up. I'm not really, I guess my raw thoughts, I'm not that excited by bidets, but I think, again, back to the original point, good executor, we're going to get what's proposed. Maybe bidets are nowish. For some reason, I'm just not that into bidets, but I'd have to think about it more. I'll probably vote for. Shill me if you want.
I haven't thought much about this, but I do wonder we've got Nouns has wet wipes, we've got the bidet. I mean, are we going for the full the full bathroom suite? Is that what our plan is?
Why not?
Slim husk. What else do we need? Like spray? Fiber supplement?
But yeah, shout out. I wonder if there are any vote with reasons referencing wet wipes.
I mean,
I do think there was one or so.
I think the bidet is supposed to replace the wet wipes. Not going to lie, the wet wipes aren't very sustainable for the future. And as Fantastic Planet says down there, bidets are the future.
Yeah.
I really like
All
how
right.
you just had that screen up with kind of a newer vote with reasons / older, but now independent. Now. Really been enjoying nouns vote with reasons, aka Noun 70. That's kind of one of the more exciting things for me in season 3 is that now votes with reason.
Who is that?
9999.
Ah, Cone.
Noun. It's a genius ENS too.
Get it.
Interesting. Yeah, new season, new ID. What else? We just have a couple minutes left here. Oh yeah, 413 Fun Season 3 of Nounish. It's $1 million.
Yeah. I don't think this ask starts right away. Yeah, the stream starts December 17th, 30% up front to June. So that's kind of like a decent amount of time. But I think they're getting ahead of their asks so that they don't have to panic or shuffle around. If this gets shot down, they can kind of iterate and maybe come back. Maybe it passes first try, but kind of getting ahead of it. And I think that's a smart move. But yeah, it's a big ask. You know, in with the potential of the burn looming and all these other big asks, like why not? I guess give it a shot. I haven't really read the prop specifically. I know they're starting to find success on Instagram, which is kind of cool. I got served their content in my feed rather naturally, I think. So that was kind of weird to see, but cool. Any other thoughts from the crowd?
It'll be interesting to see how this goes because this is now, I don't know, it's 1/15 or so of the treasury. So you're talking real numbers. Yeah. And then sort of the last prop here, 415, I guess just went on recently. Unstaking 50% of Steth. Yeah. So this is basically most proposers like to be paid in ETH or USDC, and the DAO is running out of ETH, which we can check right now by heading over to the Treasury. And yeah, Nouns DAO right now has just 300 ETH versus 8,000, 9,000 Steth. So this is sort of a big Treasury reshuffle. Index, do you have any thoughts on this?
From like a technical perspective, a lot of the proposals ask for funding in terms of USDC, And so the token buyer kind of relies on ETH to keep feeding that USDC pool and keep that going to pay props. So just like from a DAO functional technical perspective, we need more ETH to continue paying out these big props. There is over $1 million sitting in the token buyer already because of like what David of The Verge said was a weird technical thing, in that buyer kind of reads props when they're in the candidate stage. And so it's kind of overloaded more than it's meant to. But yeah, Steth, it's not realistic for it to be kind of used in the token buyer, I think, just because the way you have to convert and like unstake it. But I don't know if it keeps the DAO running. Sure, I kind of like if we could find a way to stake everything and keep things running smoothly. That would be great. It's on our show we love to check kind of the balances all the time, and it's fun to watch it go up.
To me, it brings so much joy when the balance just automatically goes up every new block day. So would you guess this? Would you predict this thing's going to pass Index on staking half the ETH?
I think so. I think just because there's a lot of big props coming up and coming through, and that money kind of needs to be there for those props to happen. So I think it passes, and then maybe we find another solution to keep staking, maybe through different avenues or different ways. But I think in the short term, yeah, I think it happens, and then hopefully someone comes back and kind of figures out another more optimal solution. I could be wrong though. I tend to be kind of against the current tide in nouns with my views. I feel like, even though sometimes I vote with people, I wish there could be a percentage on props of like how confident I am in my fours, but I've been kind of going a little bit against the general sentiment in the DAO on some of these props, so I could finally be wrong.
Yeah. Well, that covers the chain. Shout out to Noun 883 right now, sitting on the auction block. Got an orange gator. This is like Florida Gators colors almost, with this orange, huh, Mike?
Yeah, looks like it.
Yeah, not my favorite academic institution for various reasons, but if you insist, I guess we'll.
Same. My ex went there. I lived in Miami while she went there, actually.
Oh, this is actually another interesting point. For Fork One, at least, there is one individual who has yet to claim their token, at least the last time I checked. So Fork One, nobody has been able to quit yet or start any sort of governance.
Is this one of those things where it puts like a 30-day pause or something?
Yep. So Nanocrat. I said Nanocrat like it's sauerkraut, but Nanocrat, I think, has not claimed their one noun. So we'll see how that plays out.
Do you think that's malicious? Like they joined the fork to grief?
I don't really know. It didn't happen in Fork 0. Maybe people didn't know, but yeah, I have no idea. I don't think I would want to tie up any of my ETH like that just for, but maybe if I had tons of it, I don't know. Either way, something to follow.
Something to look out for. Hey everyone, thanks for joining us. Thanks for watching on YouTube, on Twitch, on Twitter. Thank you, as always, to Index. We're here every Wednesday. Zargs, shout out GM Zargs for showing up. Mike, everyone, thanks for watching.
Was that where I was supposed to thank people? Thanks everyone for tuning in, showing up, whatever Panda said.
We'll see y'all next week on Let's Play Little Nouns. Thanks everyone.
Nouns.
Sizzle reel.
to have a show where people can kind of watch and understand what the whole process is, I think would be super valuable.
Nouns is designed for permissionless creativity. You should just start doing stuff.
Oh my god, the deadline is in 9 minutes.
Do these live interviews?
That's actually really a really good question.
There are really very few yellows that are usable.
Larry King.
Stream directly to Twitter.
Very funny to me that Will Price was in the intro.
Easier to stumble upon.
Ethereum is a name that describes a particular network.
Playing nouns like a game.
How well you know your onions.
Oh, I'm so bad at this.
A very fun, cool example of what's possible here.
Submitted.
Watching you work in Figma it is very enjoyable in itself.